I don't share my journey to suggest that I have all the answers to everybody's lives because we're all unique. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to how much belief someone has in themselves and how much they're prepared to sacrifice to improve their lives. With me, I share my journey to open people's eyes, open their minds to maybe what they're doing in their life and what else can be accomplished. So, especially like time management is so important. We can lose immense amount of time doing different things, and sometimes it's not productive, but it's an addiction. And I have that in myself. And I think by sharing that, it might address things in other people's lives. And that's why I do it. When I look at my own life, though, there is an issue where I don't feel fulfilled. I don't. I'm not particularly happy if you've got boxes to tick. Some people will have more boxes ticked, but the reality is, when you go on a healing journey, it does need a reset, a deep reset. So someone may have all the other boxes ticked, apart from maybe the personal development and the healing journey that I'm on, and there may come a time when they need to reset, and you do end up losing everything to build the life you want. So sometimes it comes from that. Like I said, they reset. So I don't have romance. I don't have community really. I have small, but not like physical because I live far away from family and things. So I have you carry a heavy heart, you know. Finances are hard. Then you on top of that, you've got career being successful. Not really. You talk about personal development, yeah, that's my tick. Personal development. I've accomplished personal goals, but I haven't seen the success from it. So it's not successful career, is it? No, at least not yet. And then that comes down to it raises that question of how much do you believe in yourself? Because it's like you could say to someone, keep going, it'll all work out. You can't guarantee that. There is actually no guarantee that it works out. One would assume, and of course, with the positive intention and doing the right things, it's more often than not going to be successful at some point. It just stands to reason, doesn't it? You're putting yourself in that position where success can come, rather than guarantee that it can't. But you couldn't possibly say to someone it's definitely going to work out. That's going to come down to the individual. How much do you want it? Um, so yeah. So like I say, I've got a lot of ticks that are maybe missing, and it's frustrating for me because, of course, I'd love to have those ticked, and without them, it does get demoralising, like heavily. But of course, life can transform and change, and if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, would I? You know. So there's that side of things. So I want to address something else, and it's something that's popped up yet again in my life, and I'm always aware of it because I talk about it quite often, and that is addictions. One of my I've had an addiction most of my life, and it's gaming. Like gaming is a huge crux for me. Of course, I enjoy it, but it does come at the detriment of so much else in your life. And like for instance, like I said, I'm alone, so it's not hurting anyone, but it does make me exhausted. It can make me irritable. It can make me less productive. Um, and it has other like ramifications on other areas of life. Now, if you're someone who can balance things, then I think that's great. But in all honesty, gaming, at least nowadays, is not something that's really short term. Like back in the day, you could play Mario, maybe you play it for half an hour, and then you can come back to it. They're very short lived games. They weren't technical. Nowadays, games are very, very long winded. There's a huge story narrative to it. Sometimes games don't end, especially multiplayer games. So there's a compulsion to keep going. You want to finish this, and then there's always like a million other games, especially like a backlog, and then anything that comes out new. You literally can get buried quite quickly with gaming. If you decide I'm going to prioritize that, you'll never find an end. There's never an end. So, like for instance, with myself, I get frustrated because there's other things I want to achieve. I've got my career goals, I've got the personal accomplishments, things like that. It's like my projects. But I also enjoy watching my sport. I like to watch just normal TV. I want to watch some movies. I want to get me out and make time for reading. There's never enough time in the day. And you think, I call it the time drain. What's the biggest time drain in our lives? And I think once you start going down the route of gaming, it literally annihilates every other avenue in your life. It does. And I'm aware of it. And when I sit and game, I'm really happy. I chill out. I'm not hurting anyone. But in all honesty, I'm not someone that can just switch it off. I can't. And it's an issue. Like if I just said, I'm only going to play games on Mondays, it won't happen. If I start playing it on Monday and I get really into it, then nothing else is entertaining. I just want to get back and play that, and I'm just gonna, even if I have every intention to say, look, I'll play it for a little while. Then I really want to catch that sport event like a football match, or maybe I want to catch that movie. I guarantee I miss it. So I am someone that understands that once it takes hold, it's hard for me to stop. Um, so I do have to find like some sort of common ground. It's either remove it permanently or find a way to be selective with the games, because I'm starting to go down the path of only keep what already exists but don't buy anything else. Because it just keeps repeating this pattern, so it's more, 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 more. So anyway, yeah, I thought I'd just share that because other people may have something similar in their life. Like I said, when I removed myself from it, like I've just reinvested in acquiring sort of like traditional TV subscription. I'm just like, because I just know that's better for my mental health. I know that's just better for me to relax. It's not stressful. I'm like chill. It's like I'm like, oh, this is nice, and I forgot how nice this is. Now, the way my mind operates is that I'm a little bit, I think, different to other people. Maybe like some people have suggested I've got a level of autism, and I wouldn't be surprised. But not everybody has diagnoses. Like for instance, if I'm on Netflix, I find it really hard sometimes to pick something to watch. It's crazy, so I'll end up just watching The Big Bang Theory on repeat, just because it's easy for me to pick it. Otherwise, I just get stressed thinking what I want to watch, and it's like it just drives me nuts. And I always find that the shows, for the most part, are quite intense. It's not it's not just light. And I quite like I need light content sometimes because otherwise life just gets too heavy. And that's why I like traditional TV though, because I just can put a TV channel on and it'll change as the day goes on. Even if you just pick a channel, it'll be different TV shows appear. And I think that's what Netflix needs, something that's a bit like a station that can decide things based on recommendations and things. But the same with sport. I get on really well with sport. I just get to chill out. Um, and it just helped. I just feel better throughout the day when my day's better spent like this. Like if I just watch some TV, I work on some of my projects, I do a bit of reading, I'm listening to some music. Even that on its own, just I know it's so basic, but I'm so chilled. I'm not exhausted, and I actually feel healthier for it. Now I have other little things. I've got some colouring books and things. I got into that, but I don't do it very often. But when I do, I find this is actually more relaxing than you think. I'm just saying, like, there's relaxing tasks and hobbies and ways to de-stress, and that's good for us. And like gaming is fun, it can feel rewarding, but it's not always. It's not always. Sometimes it comes with level of stress. Um, but of course, like sometimes it's great, and it's. I don't know. I've got to find a way to balance it. I honestly think if I project myself further forward in life, I think there's going to come a time where I just remove it entirely. I think there'll always be games I love and cherish. There'll be fond memories of them. But I just think there's so much more to life than that. And I think it's a crux. There's only so many hours in a day. There's so much life to experience and explore and live. And I think like someone like me, I could literally be like in hermit mode for years. I could live like that and go, this is fun, and I'm just chilling, and it hurting no one, but you're just missing out on life. On the other side of that, if you know it, like I'm not saying it's about everybody because some people maybe they don't play games as heavily as I do, but I think a lot of people actually do because I see a lot of content where they get in arguments with like in relationships, which is just not healthy. Again, balance, but you just put it like that. It is that addictive, and I think most people are just not aware of it or they don't recognize it. But if you remove that and you focus on other areas of your life, there's just so much you can do, isn't there? You can literally travel, and it's like because some people travel and they take gaming things with them, and I always think that's weird. Like you got to switch off somewhere. I just think, like I said, there's just so much more to life than that. And it's just that if you remove it, it frees you up. It's that crux, that addiction. And it's not just gaming, of course. People can't get off their phones sometimes. They literally just take their phones everywhere they go. It's constantly back and forth on. Even if you turn it off, you turn it back on again. You take it everywhere with you. And it's like, that's no different to gaming, by the way. That's no different. If I always find that quite interesting, where like a partner will moan about someone that's gaming, but they're always on their phone. It's like you're doing the same thing. It's just a different format. It's the same. Um, but yeah, so like, for me personally, I'd rather achieve more things than just one. I think that's what it comes down to. And I definitely wouldn't want to push people away for a hobby. But like I said, if you could find a way to manage it and play in short bursts and just like for an hour here and an hour there, and it's not an issue, then it's fine. But I think if you can't, then it's not. It's simple as that. Um, like I say, I've got a lot missing in my life, but the reality is all those little boxes that I said are missing, the romance, the community, the career success, money, all those things. If you actually look at those boxes like individually, you'd say, oh, that's an empty life. But in a way it is. It is, and it is hard. And if you think about each of those boxes, where would gaming fit in to solve any of those issues? Community? Not really. I mean, unless you've got a gaming community, but then you're just all addicted together, I guess. Again, there are nuances. Some people have some great friendships online. You say the romance. Again, I know some people play games together. I just think it's a bit mental. Again, more to life. I'd rather not have someone who just plays games with me all the time. I'd rather we travel, went out, enjoyed life, and had different experiences personally. So gaming doesn't help with the romance, for sure. It's not necessarily great for the community, apart from different avenues, of course. There are extenuating circumstances. Finances, unless you're going to do live streaming with it, it's actually a drain on your finances. So the money that would be spent on the hardware, the software, the games, think of all that money that would actually come back to you where you wouldn't be hemorrhaging it. You actually have and amass a good amount of wealth. So you can actually be doing an awful lot more with money. And travel, yeah, be able to travel more. So all these little things, sometimes you've got to look at the habits we have and be aware of the detrimental impact it can actually have on our life and how much it holds us back. And it's only when you start looking at the boxes that could be ticked that you're missing in your life. You just think all the areas you're missing and think how that would help, or that would help, or that would help. Yeah. And of course, it's unique for everyone. Some people won't be as obsessed, I guess, or addicted. And it's not like I choose to be addicted. And it's not like I realize I'm obsessed halfway through playing a game. I just think I'm chilling out playing a game. But before you know it, it's outrageous. I'm like staying up late at night. Like me, I'd rather have a routine. You go to bed at a decent time. You feel fresh in the morning. That's good. With gaming, like you literally just stay up all night. It's crazy. You don't even realize how much you've been doing it for. And then you feel exhausted the next day. And then you got this weird pattern that's completely destroyed any sense of like a healthy lifestyle. And it's like, what am I doing? I got caught up again. God damn it. And then of course there's always games, and games are getting more expensive. Video games are getting a lot more expensive now. It's getting a bit outrageous, to be honest. I'm sure they're doing it to push people towards subscription services, which again would end up increasing in price too. But it's a very expensive hobby now, gaming. The hardware's getting even more outrageous. And again, like I say, it's like anything. Wherever we put our time, we lose it to somewhere else, and wherever we put our money, we lose. We could have had somewhere else too. So balance is crucial, and it's like bittersweet, because I do have a load of games I like, but this is the problem with me. I like too much. If it was just one game here or there, it's great, but I don't. I like so much. I love open world games. I love role playing games. I love the hack and slash dungeon crawler games. I could play them like crazy. I like sports. I like first person shooters, whether it's single player, multiplayer. I like strategy games like the city building, but I also like the war ones as well. There's just something to challenge and test you all the time. I like simulators as well. Racing games. It's just the issue there is it just opens up massive amounts of distraction, because let's say you had 10 games for each genre. It's like crazy. And I have multiples. So like I say, I'm on my own and I'm not hurting anyone. It's just I'm hurting myself because I've been absolutely exhausted for the past, I guess, week or so. And I look at my life and I'm like, you know what? I think it's better I just stop. I'm going to probably just finish up some games that I started, just because it makes peace of mind that I finished it. Because I hate coming back to something and forgetting the controls and the story and things. And it's not hurting too much, but it's draining me. And then I just want to focus, really. I'm just going to watch more sport again, relax, chill out, watch some movies. Just get back to watching telly and be happy. Just carefree. And then hopefully that'll free me the energy to finish my next book project. But I guarantee you, if I just play games all the time, my next book project will never come out. And that's the impact I want people to see. I know it's again, like I said at the beginning, it's about my life. It's how I am. And I'm not saying it applies to everybody's life and it's the solution. But I want to just show the impact it has on my life, and then how much you can accomplish with your with your life, really. Like my first book, Father's Daughter, that come from me not prioritizing gaming anymore. That was a hard thing to do because I was live streaming, I was creating online content, and it was a case of if I don't put my time and energy towards that and I put it towards something else, I wonder how much I can accomplish. And every year I've managed to do a book. There's two other books, like I said, a Father's Daughter. My Father's Daughter series isn't included in this photo, but I've done 6 books, a book each year. And had I dedicated myself to gaming and allowed addiction to consume me, not one of them books would exist. None of them would exist. They didn't exist before. And the one that's coming out this year, if I continue down that path, it wouldn't. I wouldn't have the energy to do it. I'm tired now, you know. So yeah, there's a few games I'm going to finish up playing, and then I'm just going to start minimizing, and maybe just stop altogether. It's just sad, isn't it? But it's just sad the way life is. Like we're humans and we struggle with time, and it's just that's life. Um, you know, I know some people make excuses, and I guess it depends on your age, your experience, and of course there's positive negatives, of course. But I do think if you've got big aspirations for your life, or you at least just want to be happy, you're not necessarily going to find it in a video games, to be totally honest, unless you can control it. But I think majority of people can't. They're just delusional. A lot of people are. They won't admit it. They won't. They get angry. I don't get angry playing games. I just get exhausted. You know, I'm past that stage where you get that competitive. You start swearing, shouting, and getting angry, and start throwing the controller or your keyboard. Or you know, I'm not that. I don't do any of that shit anymore because that's just losing control entirely. If something's not fun, then why play it? There's no point. You shouldn't be playing games to be competitive. You should play games to have fun. It's supposed to take you away from maybe the stress of life. I think when you add an extra layer of stress through it, it's like, what are you doing? Life's hard enough as it is. You're just making your life miserable. No wonder you're a hothead and losing control. So there's obviously various aspects to it. If it was just one game, if it was just 1 or 2 games, I could probably balance it. But I think maybe that's where I need to get to. I think that again, this is all like it's psyche stuff, you know. Like if I show now what I've got, and this is only a minimum, it's only sort of one. You ain't going to see it too clearly because the screen's not going to be big enough. It's not loading very quickly. What the hell is it doing? Well, I'll show a little bit. So all these, it's a bit of a mess, but it's only because I keep uninstalling things to try and streamline. These are all shortcuts for my desktop, and each of them is majority of a game. So these ones over here on the right-hand side there that are highlighted, they're strategy games. These ones here are my main games, and then you've got some others there like Assassin's Creed and things. And I've done some sort of like weird way of trying to figure this out. These are the ones I'm currently playing, and currently playing is quite a big list. If you go through the list, I think most gamers would have heard of them. You'd understand there's a bit of variety to them, but you'd also understand how long they are. And if I just go through them and maybe explain how long they possibly can be. So Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I've played 50 hours, I think it is at this point. Maybe, I think slightly more now. And it's not ending. I think that's going to be 80 hours. But that's the game I don't mind losing myself to chill. If I was playing one game, to playing that's fine because I can just play it for a while and then come off. But then I also like playing my Football Manager, and I could play that all night. That's crazy. So I know I've got to get that under control. But if we go in order here, we've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Ghost of Tsushima. That's an open world samurai game. I'm at the beginning of that, so that's going to be many hours. Red Dead Redemption 2. So I've like started it again, but I was like maybe a couple of hours in. Again, massive story left to unfold, maybe 30 hours left of that, plus of exploration. Hogwarts Legacy, so that's like a Harry Potter game. Many hours. American Truck and Euro Truck Simulator. So they're just never ending. They're literally just pick up deliveries, but I absolutely love them and enjoy them. But with them, I get tired because it's driving anyway. So I'll probably just happily play that for like 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour. And I'm happy just to turn that off. So they're not going to be a problem because they're short-lived anyway. F1 24, I don't really play racing all the time. So to be honest, I wouldn't really play that for hours on end in one session. Like I said, the biggest ones really are going to be Football Manager, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Ghost of Tsushima at the moment. You got Crusader Kings 3. That's a strategy game, like medieval strategy game where it's like role playing in a sense. I just started trying that. Again, it's like you've only got enough things that distract you, and then you add to the distraction. This gets outrageous. So anyway, and then you got F1 Manager only because it was free recently. The reality is, let's say you say Kingdom Come Deliverance. Let's say it's 80 hours. You go, oh, yeah, but on 50 hours, okay, we've only got 30. We'll get through it. But the trouble is, I've already added Ghost of Tsushima, which I've started a little bit. What's that going to be? Another 60 hours? I don't know. What? And then you go from there, Red Dead, Hogwarts. Effectively, you're repeating the pattern for the next 3 months, 3 or 4 months. I don't know. That's going to be busy. And then on top here we go, these big games. We've got Grand Theft Auto 5. I was thinking about replaying that from the beginning again. Like, what on earth are we doing? Cyberpunk 2077. I've got the DLC. I've never started the DLC, so that's a whole campaign. Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, I was thinking about going through that again. Starfield, I think I'm halfway through, never got back to finishing it. Death Stranding, Spider-Man, The Last of Us, Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Elden Ring, The Witcher 3, Baldur's Gate 3. These are huge games. This is what I'm talking about. And then down the middle here we go. We've got Fortnite, Battlefield, Far Cry, we've got Saints Row, Diablo 4, Hades, Total War, Warhammer 3, Total War Pharaoh, even others like some sports games like football, like FIFA. And then we've got Forza Horizon 4. You know, this is only a selection of games, by the way, and there's a load here, and there's more here, and there's more here, and I've got a whole emulator with a load of games as well on that. It's like this is too much. If you don't want to exist in a society and you have no goals and dreams, then yeah, you can absolutely lose yourself to it. But there's more to life than just entertainment. And I think that's where it is. It's like we can't allow entertainment to consume our lives. It can't be. It can't be everything. You know, it's a good distraction though when life gets stressful for sure. But I need to I think effectively what I was getting at there is I think see all these every one of them is like a game installed. Effectively, what we need to do is let's say I'm playing this one here. I like Ghost of Tsushima. So let's say I play Ghost of Tsushima. I like my trucks because I only have to play them for like 30 minutes. And let's say I add Football Manager. Although Football Manager is exhausting, but I can get away with just playing one session of a match or something like an actual session of a match. So let's say I don't play Red Dead Redemption 2 at the moment, or at least don't keep it in my vision. Take all these and effectively maybe just uninstall everything, and then you haven't got the because that's what I think it is. I think sometimes it's a mental issue. If you've got it in view, it's a distraction. So I think for my own sanity, I think it might be worth just having those games installed, uninstall everything else, and then it's a lot easier for me just to say, "Oh, I'm going to come and just play that," and then I'm going to go and leave. And I think that's what I need to do because this is like overstimulating for me. It's too much. And like I say, that's like a year. That's over a year's worth of stuff to consume my mind. You know. Um, yeah. So I'm sharing this to show that even like me, I'm a very balanced person and I'm very ambitious and I'm always healing. And I just think everybody has tendencies. I think everybody has vices, and I think everybody has something where it could literally be their crux. And I don't think it matters how strong or resilient you are. There's always going to be something. You could have someone who's incredibly wise, but they're drunk all the time, and maybe you don't see them being drunk all the time, but at home they are. Now that ain't me. That ain't me at all. I'm not interested in any of that. But some people just turn to substances. But maybe on the outside, when you see them, they look like they're confident. So I think everybody has the potential to have something that distracts them. And with me, it is literally gaming. So it can seem innocent at first, but it can literally send you down a path of absolute mental exhaustion. And what it is, it just ruins it's like your lifestyle, your schedule, like how you live your life. I think just gets completely disrupted. And then again, yeah, by extension, it can literally destroy relationships. I think that would be the worst thing. One of the worst things. I think first of all is like your life goals. You don't even fulfill goals because you're literally distracted. But I think if you had like the love of your life or something, and you push them away, because you couldn't control that side of your life, I think that's sad because entertainment isn't life. You know, entertainment can be reward or a distraction from certain things, but I don't think it should be the be all and end all. Otherwise, we live an artificial life, and that is sort of like for me personally. I just think it's negating life itself. It's a cop out. Yeah, a little bit. It's like it's easy to lose yourself to gaming. It doesn't hurt anyone. It doesn't really test us. It's like I'm just saying nothing else exists. I'm just going to sit here and do this. I'm just, and we can validate that to ourselves. But effectively, we're just sort of like cancelling life, aren't we? Um, yeah, I know it's been quite long yet again, but hopefully it's gone some way to processing a little bit. Right? If anyone ever similar, but again, like I said, even if you're not, even if it doesn't have specifically be gaming, because people can be on their phones continuously, and it's just not healthy. I saw something before. I think I was watching the F1, and I just looked at everybody because I recognised one of the people on there had a social media profile, and I remember seeing their content, and straight away I just thought, like we do give an awful lot of windows into each of our lives, not just like in an individual. I think everybody does. It's become so mainstream. Yet there was a day back when I was growing up when you wouldn't have that window. You would just meet people. You wouldn't know the ins and out of their life. You wouldn't have access to them intimately. It's literally it would be an enigma. But nowadays everybody has access. So nothing's sort of left to the imagination. I wonder what they do in their spare time. I wonder what their hobbies are. I wonder who their friends are. I wonder what their life's like. You don't have that curiosity because most things are available immediately. So yeah, I don't think the world necessarily evolves in the best way. I started thinking that actually I think life was simpler without it. That's interesting. Maybe something else I go considering whether it's worth keep doing video content and putting myself out there, because I think there's a real beauty. Like, I feel a big part of my journey is to help people, and I think that's to put myself front and center, and show up. But there's a big part of me, like a real strong part of me, that loves the idea of just like vanishing. It's like you don't need to, what I mean? I just like that, having privacy. Um, so I only really create because I want to help people. If it weren't for that desire inside of me to really help people, and I think by sharing my vulnerabilities, it help other people address theirs. But if it weren't for that, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be interested. I'll be happy just to have no social media, nothing, and just exist and just get on. Um, so yeah, it's just I think we've all got something to look at in our lives and address, and I think set standards for ourselves. Like I say, my personally, when I have a lighter schedule, I feel happier and healthier. And I feel gaming just sends me on a loop. I feel like it's Groundhog Day. Every day's the same. I feel exhausted. It has a negative effect on my health, but you don't achieve anything else, and it's like, what a waste. Yeah, that's what it does to you, and it's incredibly expensive. And it's a habit that I'm trying to reduce. Really, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think because I'm always looking at new games. By the way, as much as I know it's bad, I still look at games and see if there's a deal. And I think I've just got to stop doing it now. Play the games I've already invested in, I'm enjoying, because I'm truly enjoying them. These ones, I'll show again. These ones here, just ones there, 5 games. I think that's all I'm going to have. And I'm going to uninstall everything else, even though it's a pain in the ass to install them again. But the reality is I don't have time, in all honesty, to realistically play a lot of these games, because some of them I've already completed anyway. But I like them enough, and they're big games. I'm like, I feel like playing it. You don't need to play it. No. I think sometimes it's cut your losses. And that's what I'm looking to do. I think cut my losses, just get back to being happy. I think that's just a better state of being than being entertained all the time by something that's so freaking addictive and expensive. Yeah.